This is a relentless game, turning life's chaos into power. This is a relentless game, I've been out grinding 10,000 hours. This is a relentless game, always put my faith inside of God that won't ever stop. Turning life's chaos into power. This is a relentless game.
All right, it's been a little bit. We've got the relentless game, turning life's chaos into power. We've got Christian here, and like I said, it's been
2 months.
yeah, it's been a little bit.
Yeah.
So lots happened. So Christian and I were just having a discussion, just looking at if you're looking at life as in general, like the resistance, the problems, the issues. And we know that a lot of guys that we want to surround ourselves with are guys that would want to be improving and getting better and striving for more. And so there probably you probably have some type of goals that you set, some type of targets, something that you've set out to say, hey, I'm going to do this year. Maybe it's in just one area, maybe it's across the board. You probably have something like that. And if you do have something like that, then for me, it's a knowing that you're going to, and I didn't do this the first 10 years. So like 2015 was like my life. Like I climbed the ladder of success, got to the top of the ladder, best year we ever had, like, crushing it. But I got off the stage, and as I got off the stage, I was like, just felt empty and hollow, and like all this work for nothing. Now I got to go do it again. And it was in that moment that I thought the money was going to make me happy. And I started to realize it wasn't the money that's going to make me happy. I say that because that is the time in that life where I was looking for something. And then I was given an opportunity with my coaches to go to San Diego, California, and have like a 4 days with 7 other gym business owners, and just had an opportunity just to be vulnerable, be real for a little bit about the problems and the issues we struggled with. And what you started to see was we all had the same problems and issues and struggles. But a lot of times as men, we isolate. And so like to get around other guys, did something for me where it just opened me up, and I could finally get it out of my head and just speak what was really going on. And by doing so, it just helped me get some real clarity. And so one of the things was like, I want to be better across the board. I was watching my dad slowly die, and I started to really try to reach for being a better man. But as being a better man, I didn't want to go by myself. And so I started looking for other individuals, other guys that wanted to run with me. And since then, it's been issue after issue, problem after problem, multiple lawsuits. Just lost my dad in 2016, lost my mom just this past December 23rd, just left and right problems and issues. And people could look at that and be like, well, dude, like, how are you? And then running businesses and staying in shape and still working towards. And I started talking to Christians, like, I know now that like ever since I've lived this challenge-based lifestyle where I've gamified my life, I've always had something I'm working towards in every area of life, not just in one. And I've done that for like the last now 11 years almost. And that has helped me, one, to have something I'm working towards. But it also, having those problems and those issues has built faith-wise. It gets you to a place where it breaks you so that you can be, if you're going to be a leader, especially, that you have to be broken, and then you to be able to be forged into the man that you can be. And so the big focus and the big thing that I want to get across, and we're trying to talk about right now, is like accepting it, that there's going to be problems and issues. And I think that's the thing that frustrates me more than anything with guys. It's like knowing that there's going to be problems and issues, and then sitting on our hands and just going like, I hope it doesn't happen to me. And it's like what I said the other day. It's like a bag of milk, I look at some of these guys, I sit at church, and I look at individuals, and they're like, I'm just like, man, you'd be a powerful dude, and you'd be able to lead so many other individuals. But like, where did you just quit fighting?
Yeah.
Because the resistance hits you and you just quit. And if that's you right now, what I'm telling you is like, change the mindset. Because like, if you're just going through for comfort, then you're good. But the devil doesn't go after anybody that he doesn't already have, right? And so then if he has you, he's not gonna bother you, bro. Like, do what you do.
Yeah, if you're not a threat.
Yeah. He's slowed you down. He's made you lethargic. He's made you tired. He's made you question yourself. He's made you lose all kinds of confidence and certainty in the skill sets that God's given you. So like, yeah, no, he's not gonna bother you. So like, you're coasting, great. You don't have any problems happening. Awesome.
And as you're talking about this, a lot of guys crumble when they're not rooted in something. And so they don't have any kind of foundation of why they're doing what they're doing. And this is what we've done differently this year is with our targets. You said, yeah, come up with a target, but that target better fire you up and it better be faith driven, something that you feel like God is calling you to do. And that's whenever that resistance hits, whenever you're like, I'm doing this for something bigger than me.
Yep.
I'm not doing this just to drop some body fat.
Yep.
I'm doing this because this is who God's called me to be.
Yep.
You have that relationship with God. You don't want to let him down. You don't want to not be that version he's calling you up to be. And so I think that that's with whatever target the guys have set, there's got to be a purpose behind them setting that target. It better fire them up, them even talking about it. And if it doesn't fire them up, then it's not for them, or they need to get back to the foundation of, okay, what am I rooted in? Do I have anything that I fall back on whenever I'm having a tough day? Whenever me and my wife are going through issues, is there something that I can go back to and help me build up and be a better man? Do I have a brotherhood? Do I have a sister?
That's the piece right there. So there's so many pieces to it.
Why? Yeah.
First, like honesty.
Yeah.
Just the guy today, like just talking to a guy yesterday, and like he was so blatantly, and I called him out on it like 10 different times about him lying to himself. I finally got off the call with him, and then, today we get a message from him, and it was like, man, I was just honest with my wife. He just cheated on his wife and like made some decisions. And now he's like his whole life is turned upside down, and he's playing victim and not being honest with himself. And I told him like, if you don't take power over the situation, responsibility over the situation, you lose all power over it. So just like it's like if that's part of it is like you messed up, then now you got a problem. Now that's a self-created problem. Like I'm looking for problems that are coming at me that like, you know what I mean? It's like they come at me and I didn't create them myself. Let me decrease those, because if I know that there's already more problems coming, then I want to weaponize myself and I want to be prepared. But I also want to keep myself out of any kind of problems that could self-create as well.
Yeah.
Like guys getting behind the wheel and drinking and driving, cheating on their wives. I was like, ask this dude, I was like, you cheat on your wife? And I was like, is your wife attractive? Yes, yes, yes. Oh, so attractive. Okay. The girl you cheated with, is she attractive? No, no, no. Okay. Then I can't understand why you'd have I don't know. I don't know why I did it. And I'm just like, okay, so you just did it once then? No, I did it twice. It's like, oh, like you start to get to a place where you create those problems, then like, yeah, dude, like the devil doesn't have to bust with you either, because you create your own stinking problems. So like it's getting into a place of just going like, okay. And we were just saying it with James chapter 1, verse 2. It's like, find joy in those problems and issues. And since 2016, like since my dad and the problems and that 18-month lawsuit and all that stuff, I just started changing my mindset around built for this. It's who I am. They don't stop. That's why they don't stop. That's just but I don't stop either. And I'm going to continue to show up. I'm going to continue to do what I need to do. I'm going to continue to refine myself and look at myself with honesty and be honest with myself about where my current situation is and what I don't like about myself. And if that honesty, like that's when you start to go, okay, I've addressed it. And I look at it with little stuff. It's like, we can talk about it's like coffee or something like that. It's not that big of a deal. But when I was like looking at like sugar, for example, I was like, you can talk about like anything else, but like this one is still, that one right there. It's like, if it's a drug, like same thing. Is like, why wouldn't we look at this? And so that's where I was like, this is way bigger issue than anything else that you've done before. Like you kill this big one off, then the next thing you may, what could it unleash with you? You know what I mean? But having those as like those problems and those issues as a way of building you up, but then having a game that you're playing that regardless of what's coming at you, you still are so focused on the man that you're trying to become, that those problems, you just look at them as like, hey, this is a refining moment that I get better and I'm going to improve and I'm going to learn a skill set. I'm going to learn a mindset. I'm going to change a different perspective. I'm going to make a different impact because I can now share a story about how I overcame it. And that's what for me was in 2018 when I was going through that 2017 to 2018, the mid 2018, 18 months. I was going through that lawsuit, and that's just why I was praying was like, get me out of this, and I promise you, like I promise you, just get me out of it. So that's what I think that's the biggest thing is we have to be in that guy that regardless, I want to be known as that guy that regardless of the issues and the problems, because you read about in the Bible, there's not a guy that got out. That's what we're talking about. It's like going into a football game, putting the pads on. So 11 guys on that side of the field. There's 11 guys on this side of the field, and that's the only people on the field, and that's the only people that get to go on the field. And you walking out, and you're like, oh, I'm not expecting to get hit. Oh, you mean we actually have to there's actually going to be some like people running at me and trying to jump on me and this, that, and that. It's like, yeah, what'd you think? You're just going to be able to run all the way to the other side of the end zone without somebody trying to tackle you? And then now you start to look at it like that, or Mario. Hey, I'm in level 1 of Mario right now, and I'm playing Mario. I got my boy Luigi here. And now we're rocking and rolling. We're trying to get to the princes. And we got this little Bowser dude. Okay, beat him, move to Mario 2. It's a different mindset. And that type of mindset is going to keep you in the game a lot longer. And it's going to keep you wanting to get better and better and improve yourself. Because that's all that's happened to me is I've been the fat, the alcohol, you name it, gambling, weed, anything that you can think of, man. I've done it and messed up, but at the same time, and caused issues for myself. But then also dealing with other issues that are in front of me, and those issues that are in front of me, that's so much easier just to have faith on because I know that they're not my self-made issues necessarily.
Yeah. And your past is what allows you to make a bigger impact on men because you're like, dude, I've been that guy. I've done this. I've screwed up here. And imagine if you're trying to get guys into the Guerrilla Alliance and you're like, hey man, like, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of been an easy selling for me. Like you can't relate to them.
Mhm.
And so the guy's gonna go, dude, he doesn't know anything about what I'm dealing with.
Yep.
I'm not running with him. But the fact that you've been through that, that's your testimony.
Yeah.
And that's what allows you to impact more people. And I think getting into that mindset of, hey, like I'm gonna be joyful in this resistance because it's deeper than me. Like I'm creating a legacy that's gonna impact generations. This is gonna impact my kids because I can tell them, hey, I've been through this. And so it's going to make them want to go in a direction that's going to be more serving to them and not make those same mistakes that you've had. And so looking at the resistance you face as the opportunity to help others and getting out of that selfish mindset of, man, poor me, why am I going through this? Like, just see, like something that you've helped me out with a lot is like, hey, this resistance that you're facing, there's a lesson you can take out of this. And when you take a lesson out of that, you start to like look back from more of a broad view and go, okay, like I could have done this differently, or this is why this affected me. And then it just allows you to build skill sets to rise above that resistance. And then you're going to be set yourself up for success long term because you're going to be able to shield off a lot of those other things that you might have been weak in that area. It's just going to make you more of a weapon and it's somebody that can build a bigger legacy.
So the principal lesson here is like the resistance means go. And so every day, wake up knowing that there's going to be a problem, knowing there's going to be an issue at your doorstep, and you've got a decision to make. Am I going to be prepared for that problem or that issue, or I'm going to find myself with my pants around my ankles and I'm carrying a gun around trying to figure out how I'm going to get over this problem? Or the other side of it is you can just be like, boom, hit with it. Like Christian's seen me a lot of different times. I don't think you've ever seen me where I've had an issue where I've just like lost it, where I'm like, what am I going to do? But in the past, before I had that mindset, I would let things ruin me for weeks and piss me off and try to be vindictive and get a retaliation or whatever it may be. And with the problems and stuff that coming at me, like, a lot of them were self-made problems. I wasn't identifying and looking at myself or where I needed to improve to get better, to not cause those problems anymore. And so with this game that we play is, yes, it's about getting better, but it's also about being honest with yourself. And that's the foundation is we got to have the facts about where we are. When we do that and we have the facts, everything else becomes clear on the next steps because you'll have your feelings that kind of directs you on like, hey, I'm headed in the right direction or I don't like my results at all. And then now you know which direction you need to go. Once we have that, and now we can look at our focus and then where we need to be going and what's our focus needs to be on, the patterns, the behaviors to become the guy that we're trying to do. And slowly but surely, we can start to change our fruit, our results of what we have. And that's the game that we play. And when we play that, life becomes a lot more simplified because now you know that like you've got something that's building you and preparing you not only to grow who you are, but for the problems and the issues that are in front of you right now to help you get to that way. And so that's the stuff that we'd love to show you. I offer you two different things. A Relentless Faith Bible Experience is free. It's one of those things where we're doing it now Tuesday at 6:15 Central Time. I'm excited about that PM. I'm excited about that because we've always done it Friday at 7 a.m. It was like I put it at the hardest time for people to make it. I started thinking about that. I'm like, Fridays at 7 a.m. I mean, like, yeah, maybe some people have off Fridays, but like, how many people? And so for a little bit, had a pretty good amount of people.
Yeah.
Then it started just becoming me and my man Dave, and he's like 75 years old, and he's got a lot of wisdom. But
You can almost look at that as a perspective too, is God just preparing you for this?
Mhm.
Like he's like, hey, I'm going to give Seth 6 or 7 guys. I'm gonna give him 6
Got
or
'em.
7 guys, and then allow him to impact those guys, build some skill sets in order to be able to deliver my word and impact some people on more of a one-on-one, a smaller, kind of a smaller group of men. But then, hey, now it's time for him to gain some insights and go, hey, like we're gonna open this up bigger, and it could blow into something huge.
Oh, and I'm definitely ready for it, prepare for it,
Yeah.
because I've done so many of them. I did it since April of last year till the December. No, real deal, because everything that I do is pretty strategic on
Yeah.
like the timing of it, and why I do it. And so like I started looking at like, man, why is 7 a.m. on Friday?
Mhm.
It didn't make any sense to me, but it never got overwhelming. And I was able to build a skill set around it. So that's why I'm excited because I know more guys will be open to like Tuesday at 6:15. There's not going to be too many dudes that have anything going on. I would think so. Having that they could put into their life, and that's something free that I can make an impact on. Because here's the other side of it is, if you want to run with us, like if you want to start with the Built Different, that's the 42 day, and we take that Built Different and we piece that together with the Game to 180, and we start to the wake up phase, start to wake you up to where you are right now and to where you want to go, start to wake you up to the facts of your current situation and be able to help you and direct you on building a game plan to get there and show you a game that we play to get there, but at the same time having that accountability, having that brotherhood. And that's another one, man, is like as guys, like it's still even in a brotherhood, it's the first thing that guys do, man, every single time is they isolate. They have something else going on. They don't want to admit what they got going on. And so they isolate, and they ghost you on text messages, they ghost you on calls. And then that's the level of it right there. Is like, you've got to be at this place of like, I'm done hiding, and I'm just going to own everything that's in front of me that's I've struggled with and that I need help with, or whatever it may be that I got going on. And then we say, this is all me. This is what I got going on. And when we get to that kind of place, now life becomes a little bit more, because now you can be able to speak what you have going on and get it out of that head of yours and be able to start to see kind of directionally of the pieces that you need to take and the next steps you need to go with. And God will help you with that when you're honest with yourself about it. But if you're not honest, he's like, I'm not. So that's where we're at. I want to get you through that wake up phase. I want to get you through that take a knee phase. That take a knee phase is now you're starting to look at all the areas that you've been playing small in, and you start to realize and address that you're not happy with where you are, and you need guidance and you need help. And that's taking a knee and letting God point you in the direction that he's wanting to take you, and being able to start to work to get to that guy. And as we start to get to that guy, we then go into the have it all phase, and then we go into the last piece of it. But here's the thing is, it starts with those first two. Let's get you through, and let's just right now just go, hey, I'm going to take a knee. I'm going to wake up to what my current situation is. And by waking up, we'll be able to to move on from there. So get you through those first two phases of that is something I would offer you on top of getting you in shape. That's like the first piece of it is physically and mentally. We start to change you by getting you in shape. That starts to open everything else up. And then we start to attack the guy that you're trying to go after now that you're prepared and weaponized. So,
Yeah, getting control over your body is like that first domino, because
mhm.
that's where a lot of guys, that's where we put our worth. We look in the mirror and we go, dude, I'm not living the way that I know that I should be. And once we start getting guys and build some momentum in that direction, I go, okay, what's the next domino? I've got a handle on this. What's the next thing that I'm going to achieve, man? And you flat out like hearing all this stuff, you think, okay, I'm gonna set some targets. Like I'm gonna implement some of these things. Bro, I'm telling you, you cannot do it alone. I've tried to do it, and I'm somebody that's very goal driven, but I just couldn't do it by myself. I had to have a brotherhood. And now, like, me having that brotherhood is why me and Seth serve up at the church every single Sunday, and we're impacting juniors in high school. It's why that I'm able to build the skill set where I'm able to pray over a group of men. I'm able to pray over clients at the Vitality Mill. It's the whole reason I'm even have the confidence to be able to lead and coach hundreds of people that I worked with at the Vitality Mill. But if I didn't have the brotherhood, I couldn't do that, because that's what allowed me to get out of that bubble and get out of that shell that I was in and build all these kind of skill sets that's build me into the guy that God has called me to be. You think you can do it on your own? I promise you, man, you can't. We've seen guys that have done it with us and go, "Hey, I've got it. I figured it out." And then we see them on Facebook and we see what they're doing. We go, "Bro, you should have stayed in it."
Yeah. Well, you got integrity too. So you're a man of integrity. So when you're a man of integrity and you tell other guys what you're going to do, now you've spoken and put your word on something. And so when you do that, it's a totally different game than just saying, here's my targets, here's the notes on my phone, here's the things I said I was going to go after,
Yeah.
put them back in there. Week one passes, week two passes. I forgot about that. Am I doing any of that? I kind of did that. And you just keep on doing that and playing that game and not being honest with yourself. So like with you'd be there if it wasn't having notes something and you would still crush. But at the same time, it's like with most guys, they don't have that they don't have that initial, they're not ripped and they're not taking care of themselves physically, and that really is where it starts at, like you said, is not even getting it's not even about getting ripped as much as just like dropping the body fat and starting to have some confidence in yourself and starting to wake up to like the realness of what's happening around you.
Yeah.
And addressing that and going like, okay, well, this has been an issue. And by me being fat, that impacted my sex drive. And by impacting my sex drive, yeah, by it impacted my energy. So then I couldn't play with my kids, and then it impacted how I showed up at work. And so I was not. And then that impacted my finances, and so it just goes into
It's an energy problem.
about it
That's one of
every
the
single
things I
time.
said.
Yeah, so that's where we're at. You can it's like free, jump on that first. Jump on that Relentless Faith. I'm also gonna have free trainings, that are going out, and what I'll be doing on Thursday evenings as well. That'll be random, so just be, you can follow me at Seth.P.Humphrey on Instagram and at Facebook, and then Christian.
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at boo_train6. So all things fitness and nutrition, you can find me there.
Have any questions, need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. And yeah, I'd love to work with you. Love to work with you inside of the Relentless Faith Bible Experience, but also inside the Guerrilla Alliance as well, and go from there. So have a fantastic day, and we'll see you on the next episode.